Hello everyone and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Michael and I'm bitten by a radioactive book. So today is Wednesday and it's a collaboration between Top 5 Wednesday and the BookTube SFF Awards Babbles videos where we talk about our top 5 maybe most anticipated reads that we have on our TBR and want to do. So without further ado, let's get into 5 titles I'm really looking forward to get into. We're starting with the number 1 title because I think that won't be a surprise for most of you, so I'm not going from 5 to 1 but from 1 to 5. And it's Fall of Light by Stephen Erickson. What? That came out last year, and why haven't you read it, Michael? What's wrong with you? Yeah, these are all relevant questions. I'm not sure. So I think Forge of Darkness was like a very intense read, both regarding like emotions and feelings and also like the amount of content you need to contain. And I'm contemplating the idea of waiting until the final volume is out, rereading Forge of Darkness and then reading the whole trilogy back to back, because I think it might be like helpful to reread Forge of Darkness to know where the characters are exactly. Also, Erickson always tends to set up a lot of stuff in like early books that will come to fruition in later books. So I'm not sure. On the one hand, I really want to leave everything behind and read that right away. On the other hand, it might be like a great experience to read the whole trilogy back to back when the third book comes out. I don't know when it is supposed to come out. I think he was aiming for this year, so that would work, but if it's like delayed as Fall of Light was, then I might read Fall of Light at some point this year and yeah, try to manage until the last book comes out. But we'll see. The second book on my list is Wrath by John Gwynne, and you're actually going to see that as well, I think tomorrow in my April TBR. This is the final volume in his The Faithful and the Fallen series, a series that I enjoyed a lot. I think I rated these books, all of them 4 or 5 stars, maybe 14 out of 15 possible stars at the moment. I think I rated them 4.55. I don't know it from the top of my head. But this is like a great fantasy series which had a great development. Started out as like with 4 points of view, then it fleshed out the world, got more like diverse and interesting characters, not more in the sense of that they were more interesting than the characters we had before, but just by more in terms of more characters, you know. This is clearly heading to the climax in this 4th volume, and I've read the first 3 books, I think, all over the time of last year. And so I'm still have this story and these characters like freshly in my mind, and I really want to get to the final and have this series finished, because I know that there's going to be like a second series by John Gwynne set in the same world, and I really want to be prepared for when that happens. Next up we have The Shadow Throne, the second installment in Jungle Wexler's The Shadow Campaign series, and this is a series of flintlock fantasy where I highly rated the first book. It was fantastically written, and I can't wait to get back into this series. I think 4 books are out so far. I don't even know if it's just this quartet or if there's going to be a 5th or 6th volume in the series, but it's been a couple of years actually until or since I've read the Thousand Names, the first book, and I really want to see how Winter and I blank on the name of the second main character, of how their stories like develop, and to get back into this world. It's, I think, a very unique setting, and it had very clever plots, and the book left into interesting places that and now we have, or I had the feeling that we're now moving on, changing the setting from more of a Middle Eastern setting to a more Western European setting. I also like that the world building is really unique. We don't get to see that many like Flintlock fantasies next to Brian McClellan's work. So yeah, I'm really intrigued, and it's about time to return to this series. And I could really repeat what I've just said about Django Rex's series and just tag Alistair Reynolds' names on it, and just say it's not Flintlock, it's science fiction, because I've read Revelation Space, the first book in his Revelation Space series, like a couple of years ago and really enjoyed it. I've also read Chasm City or Chasm City. The second book, it's more of a standalone, and it's not considered part of the real Revelation Space series, but also like a part of that universe, and I've read that, and both of them were like really great reads. It's a very far future like dark science fiction space opera with like very interesting characters. There's very interesting assumptions about how mind and machine meld together. There's advancements in kind of cosmetic technology, how to alter yourself, like people taking on various animalistic kind of attributes and facial attributes as well. So it's very highly imaginative, and it's a world I want to return to and actually finish like the yeah, the first trilogy, and then see what Alistair Reynolds has to offer as well, because he's written quite a lot over the last couple of years, and I want to delve more into this work because I think he's a science fiction author that works really, really well for me. And last but not least, we have The Forgetting Moon, the first installment in Brian Lee Durfee's 5 Warriors Angels series. That is something that is completely new. It came out last year, I think, and I bought it and I wanted to read it right away, but it fell a little bit into my main reading slump kind of phase that I had towards the whole end of the year. And it is something that sounds very familiar, but also very epic. I think we have like a plethora of characters, like a reigning prince who's who has his fear of um, or who rules in isolationism, and is very paranoid. He has like 2 sisters that both are trying to find their way. There's a young orphan boy, of course, with a destiny who is trained by a mysterious figure. So there are a lot of familiar elements, but there's it all sounded like very, very epic. It's if you go maybe on Goodreads, Amazon, or the site of your choosing, and just read like the blurb, how much there is in this kind of story, how epic it all sounds, how big it all sounds, then it is something where what I'm expecting to get like a new voice doing something that I personally really like, and so I really look forward to dive into this work. So here you go, these were my 5 most anticipated science fiction and fantasy reads. What are yours? What is something that you have on your TBR for quite a while and really want to get to? Please tell me in the comments. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of me, subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I hope you get bitten by a really good book too. Bye.